I'm Mr. Divery, and this is One Geek's Opinion. I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Look, fanboys, you knew eventually Marvel would drop the ball and make a crappy film. But this is not it.
As difficult as this is to accept, Captain America is a fugitive.
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been compromised. You said so yourself. You gave me this mission. This is how it ends.
Captain Rogers, stand down.
Don't hold your breath.
If awesome was a cake, Captain America: The Winter Soldier would be a big slice with a cherry on top. I wouldn't say it's the best Marvel film ever, but it's a close second or third depending on how you view it. And the only thing stopping Winter Soldier from being the best Marvel film is the story is pretty simple. No spoilers here, but if you saw the trailer, you know the whole movie. It's a simple story, but it works. I would take a simple story like Winter Soldier that's great over a complex story like Iron Man 3 that's a mess. Chris Evans is really solid in this film. The one thing I really loved about the first Captain America film was how Evans sold the idea of Cap being this upstanding moral champion. That's still there, but they added a level of badassness I could never have imagined. Which makes me realize you can have a character be a total kick-ass fighter and be a symbol of hope. So that's another thing Marvel does better than DC. Samuel L. Jackson was Samuel L. Jackson. The man's in his late 60s and he's still a bad motherfucker. Scarlett Johansson really steals the show. I didn't find her interesting in Iron Man 2 or in The Avengers. She's really awesome here. She has a lot more depth in her character, and she had some actual chemistry with Captain America, just like Tony Stark and Pepper Potts did in the first Iron Man film. Unlike her and Hawkeye, who had no chemistry because they were talking like an awkward brother and sister who just made out. And of course, Black Widow kicks all kinds of ass here. They introduced Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. He was there to be Cap's new black sidekick, because black is the new impressionable teen with questionable fashion sense. They did kind of fumble how Falcon falls into the role of Cap's buddy. He has a few too many coincidences in teaming up with Cap, especially the wings. Oh, Cap, thanks for letting me tag along. By the way, I'm an expert pilot of this top secret gliding technology. You think that might come in handy? Ugh, dude, really? But you can't really overthink this movie too much. Falcon's there because he's a really decent guy whose role is to ask the questions the audience is thinking so we can get insight on the real hero. That's kind of the role of a sidekick. And Falcon is just a sidekick. But he's a sidekick done well. And that's what I would really say about the whole film. It's done well. The only exception, of course, is the action. The action was freaking epic. It was a cross between James Bond, Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible, and The Fast and the Furious. It was super over the top, but with such confidence you had to love it and respect it. The fight scenes were some of the best ever made, and the showdown between Captain America and the Winter Soldier was incredible. If you compare the fight scenes in The Dark Knight Rises to the ones in Winter Soldier, Batman and Bane look like two old ladies having a slap fight. The film is not perfect. At times, Captain America gives speeches that are supposed to be awe-inspiring, but come off flat. And the Winter Soldier, while a total badass, doesn't have nearly as much depth as one would think, considering his name is in the title. Probably because they didn't invest too much time in developing him as a character. On the other hand, if the choice was between giving the Winter Soldier more depth or giving him an extra fight scene, I would vote for the fight scene too. But these are minor complaints and they don't take away from the movie. I have a few nerdier complaints too, but I'll save them for a later date or as a submission to the sin counter. If Black Widow is 30, how can she be ex-KGB? She would have been 7 during the fall of the Soviet Union. All in all, I love this movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've already seen it, go see it again. It's a great film. I don't get to say that too often, but that's just one geek's opinion.
If I say it one more time, if I say it one more time, if I say it one more time.